Ryan Garcia stirred the pot when he broke down the upcoming mega clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez.
I see that Bud's gonna do good. He's gonna do good, but I don't think he's gonna win. But I do see Bud like getting a lot of punches off, being able to tag Canelo with some good shots, but they have no effect. That's the thing.
Crawford stepping up 2 full divisions to challenge Canelo for the undisputed super middleweight crown is daring to chase history, but the voices of the boxing world are split. Each analyst and fighter bringing their own perspective to how the night could unfold. Garcia, speaking confidently, made it clear that Crawford's skills are undeniable. He acknowledged that Crawford is versatile, capable of boxing on the back foot, pressing forward or shifting gears when needed. But having seen Canelo spar in person, Garcia doesn't believe Crawford has the power to cause any real damage. In his view, Canelo will take the shots, walk forward, and gradually impose his physicality. Even if Crawford racks up points early, Garcia feels the fight will turn into Canelo's kind of battle, one where size, resilience, and ring control take over.
He has the best center I've ever
Bro,
seen.
nothing moves his head.
I seen one time Triple G hit him and he kind of like, then he's right back on.
Bro, that's the thing. Like, I know he's gonna be able to beat Canelo because I've seen Canelo in sparring where not that he's getting hit. Well, he is getting hit, but it's so ineffective that what he's doing is just he imposing himself too well, and I still see that. Like, don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter. I just think that he's fighting a little bit more. But you never know. If anybody can do it, it could be Crawford. I do see him like when he fights up there. He could do it all. He could box, bang. He could, step on the gas when he needs to. He could do everything. The only thing I see is sometimes he gets cracked with some crazy ass shots. But other than that, I mean, he's really one of the most complete fighters I've seen.
Additionally, McIntyre is dismissing Canelo's sparring decisions. According to recent reports, Canelo has been training with Jiren Boots, a dangerous and unbeaten welterweight who has been compared to Crawford in terms of skill and style. That is viewed by many in the sport as a significant advantage for Canelo's preparation. However, McIntyre brushes it off, claiming that Crawford's attitude, sharpness, and distinct rhythm are unmatched by any sparring partner. Who Canelo trains with is irrelevant to him. None of that will help him on fight night.
Do you have a prediction on the fight for Canelo Alvarez?
We're gonna beat this motherfucker. There ain't no cakewalk. We're gonna be a partner for that.
What's your message to the naysayers that Terence is too small?
Watch and see. I ain't steered you wrong yet. Yeah, I ain't in the business to start now. I tried to tell them about Spence, but they didn't want to listen. Oh, boy, I don't know what he's talking about. All right.
Canelo's camp, however, has a different perspective. It is not a simple decision to bring in Andis. Andis is regarded as one of the most promising future stars in American boxing at 34-0 with 30 knockouts. His quickness, unpredictableness, and offensive diversity are similar to several of Crawford's strong points. Sean Porter, the former champion who shared the ring with Crawford and knows him personally, said that this sparring technique is concerning. For Porter, Canelo could receive the precise training required to anticipate Crawford's weapons after a few sessions with a fighter as talented as Ennis. When the lights come on in Las Vegas, it may make a huge difference to see someone in camp who even remotely resembles Crawford's style.
I know you saw him sparring with Boots. Give me your initial response to that.
That don't mean shit, man. That don't mean shit. That don't mean nothing, man. Boots ain't no Crawford.
That's right.
Yo, hey, like I said, that don't mean, all that don't mean nothing. That shit ain't gonna help him. He should have just got the last cab driver he just fought. Cause that shit ain't gonna, that don't mean nothing, man. All that don't mean nothing. You ain't no Bud Crawford. They don't have that mentality. Having that mentality and going upside your head at the same motherfucking time, shit, man. don't give a fuck about all that shit at all.
Former fighters and boxing commentators have been lining up with their opinions away from the camps. Many were taken aback when Max Kellerman, the seasoned commentator with a keen boxing mind, leaned in Crawford's direction. The foundation of Kellerman's argument is the notion that, despite his continued excellence, Canelo has changed as a fighter. Kellerman thinks Crawford has the advantage because of his years of experience, career that began in his teens, and obvious symptoms of slowing down. Citing his defeat of Errol Spence and prior performances, he believes the American has continuously demonstrated his ability to advance divisions and dominate. Kellerman is certain Crawford's skill and timing will prevail despite Canelo's physical advantage.
Canelo Alvarez. Terence is not going to see anything no, he hasn't seen this piece on Fight Night. He hasn't seen a version of this piece for a very, very long time. People have said that he's a blown-up 147-pound fighter. If you remember, he said it was hard for him to make 147 when he fought Errol Spence Jr. I was like, yo, how is that possible? I didn't realize like he was really doing everything that's needed to gain the weight properly. Most fighters don't know how to gain weight and fit into a weight class properly. He's done that.
That's not how everyone sees things. After years of trying to get a chance with Canelo, David Benz reluctantly acknowledged that Crawford might not be able to handle Canelo's stature. For Benz, physics is more important than skills. Crawford is entering the super middleweight class for the first time, whereas Canelo is a natural super middleweight. Although Benz didn't say it with joy, especially considering how frustrated he was about not getting a fight with Canelo himself, he believed that Canelo's physicality and experience would outclass a smaller opponent.
They both have sky-high ring IQs. If I have to, if you ask me again, like there's a reason that I think Crawford's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, right? Because I think, and Canelo once was. So even though Crawford is biologically older, Canelo has had the longer career. He's been fighting since he's a teenager, and there's been signs recently that maybe he's not the same guy that he used to be. By the way, I know people think Inoue and Usyk are ahead of Crawford. The Ring has them rated ahead of Crawford. I don't, because to me, pound for pound is not a fairness issue. It's an issue of just who do you think is better. And the last time I saw Crawford, he moved up yet another division, beat at the time the guy I thought was the best fighter in the division. Turns out he wasn't, but I thought he was at the time. And before that, had just annihilated Errol Spence. So if you look at all the boxes, I'm going to check Crawford for most of them, if not all of them. But the reason Canelo is favored is because Canelo does a lot of things at a very high level, and he's a naturally bigger guy.
Mike Tyson contributed his voice to the discussion, bringing with him his signature blend of boxing history and candor. Although his intellect tells him it's unlikely, Tyson admitted that his heart wants Crawford to win. He described the fight as difficult, recognizing the skill of both fighters but favoring Canelo because to his strength and strategic acumen. Nevertheless, Tyson emphasized to everyone that upsets are a constant possibility in boxing. He cited past instances, such as Henry Armstrong defeating more formidable opponents, to imply that even if Canelo has the advantage, the bout might result in the kind of shock that makes boxing legendary. Antonio Tarver also brought up a point that a lot of fans have made regarding politics and judgment. Tarver believes that in order to defeat Canelo, Crawford would need to put on a faultless performance, particularly in Las Vegas, where the Mexican superstar's appeal and impact are apparent. According to him, a close battle on the scorecards is not something Crawford can afford. Tarver believes that stopping Crawford would be the most secure method of victory. However, Canelo acknowledged that situation is extremely unlikely considering his extensive experience and granite chin.
No, Canelo Crawford. I think Canelo's going to win only because of the size. Crawford is coming up 3 weight classes. So I think, Canelo's more of a natural super middleweight. Crawford's first super middleweight fight. So I got to go. I'm not going for Canelo. I've been here last 5 years. You cannot tell me what I cannot say. I'll live in second like my final day. You can't take that away. Hands on worse than anybody that ever put hands on. He's a legend. He's a legend, but I feel like I'm in my own way. I'm a legend. That's what I'm calling all those great fighters, and I'm showing it. I'm showing why I want to be a legend. So at the end of the day, I ain't scared of nobody. I'll fight anybody, whenever, whoever.
Do you feel like
whenever.
Do you feel like you got to play nice with Canelo? Like if you're talking shit in the media, he's not gonna fight you? Or
I mean,
what do you feel like, honestly? Give me your honest. Like, is it a money thing or?
To be honest with you, bro, I just feel like he don't. It's not of a money thing. I feel like once I beat him, all his fame goes to me. You know, all his people go to me. So it's like a passing of the torch. And I just don't think he likes me. I don't think he likes me. So I don't think he'd want to pass the torch.
Do you like Canelo?
I don't have no problem with him. I've never met him. I've never seen him. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah, you're a classy guy.
Outside the ring, I have no problem with him. In the ring, I have a problem with him.
Andy Lee anticipates a close technical match that might be decided by the slimmest of margins. He thinks Canelo has perfected the art of subtly managing fights, while Crawford has adjusted to switching between divisions extremely well. For Lee, one round or simply one brilliant moment may make all the difference. Chris Algieri considered the wider view. He said that simply having the guts to take on such a significant task, Crawford has already improved his legacy, regardless of what transpires on fight night. For Algieri, the significance of this battle for Crawford's historical legacy is more important than the outcome. A readiness to push limits and strive for excellence at all costs. Another combatant who has sparred with Canelo, Caleb Plant, added a psychological perspective to the discussion. He made the argument that mental toughness and quick thinking under duress are more important in battles like this than sheer muscle or expertise. Both men contribute different strengths to Plant. Canelo, with his unadulterated strength and unparalleled weightlifting expertise. Crawford's versatility and surgical accuracy. He proposed that, as exhaustion comes in and the pressure of the situation kicks in, the decisive factor might be who can manage the mental battle best.
Canelo only needs one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only needs one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision. Never won a close decision. That's what's looming. And I think if Crawford is going to guarantee victory, he got to stop him.
A man who ain't been stopped.
He got to stop him, bro.
Yes,
so that's going to be the challenge. So I like Bud. I've always loved Bud, bro. But he in for a hell of a fight. If Saul show up,
The boxing community is still split as September 13th draws near. Canelo's size, chin, and capacity to wear down lesser men are cited by others as the deciding factors, including Ryan Garcia and Benz. Some, like Kellerman, McIntyre, and Tyson, think Crawford has what it takes to surprise everyone, whether it's tactical skill, pressure in the final round, or just plain flexibility. In the meantime, seasoned commentators like Tarver, Lee, Algieri, and Plant remind everyone that strategy, psychology, and the unseen forces of boxing politics are just as important as physical prowess in this battle. The spectacle itself will undoubtedly go down in history. Two of their generation's best fighters will enter the ring under the brightest lights, bearing on their shoulders not only belts but also legacies. While the other man will be asked if the risk was worthwhile, the first man will depart with his legend elevated. However, history has repeatedly demonstrated that boxing produces its most memorable nights during these periods of uncertainty.
Peak of what they are at this point, because again, Crawford is 38 years old, Canelo will be 35 by then. So I think they're going to be the peak for what they are at their ages. But it's easy to go, wow, what have you done for me lately? That's usually how everyone kind of sees everything. So, but I think it's good. I think it makes the fight more enticing. A lot of people are thinking that Crawford could win. Don't get me wrong, Crawford can absolutely win the fight. I'm not saying he can't win the fight. But in terms of how I see it, it hasn't really changed my thoughts because I know better than to just trust that last thing I saw because there's a lot of confounding factors.